Consider the function f of x, which is the hybrid function, where it is equal to x squared for x is less than 2, and equal to the rule 2x for x is greater than or equal to 2. We want to determine if the function f is continuous at the point x equals 2. So the first thing we need for a function to be continuous at a point is for that point to actually exist. So if we inspect the subdomains of this hybrid function, we can see that x equals 2 exists on the rule 2x. So that means we can evaluate f of 2 is equal to 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. So that exists for this hybrid function. The next part of our definition for being continuous is that the limits from the left-hand side and from the right-hand side must be equal, and they must equal the value of the function f at that point. So the first thing we're going to do is consider the limit from the left. And if we're considering from the left, that is, we are looking for the subdomain that's in the negative direction, so the x less than 2. This will be the rule for that part of the subdomain. So we can write this as the limit as x approaches 2 from the left, has a little negative symbol up here, and that is going to have the rule x squared over that subdomain, and substituting 2 into that will give us 2 to the power of 2, which equals 4. Next, we're going to consider approaching from the right. Mathematically, we can write that as the limit as x approaches 2 from the positive direction, and the rule for that part of the subdomain is going to be 2x, because that's where x is greater than or equal to 2. So that's going to be what goes in our limit. And now to evaluate that, we're going to just sub 2 in, so it's going to be 2 times 2, which equals 4, which is what we found previously anyway. So because this is equal to this is equal to this, it will mean that our function is continuous. So we can write that as the limit as x approaches 2 from the left for the function f of x is equal to the function evaluated at 2, which is equal to the limit as x approaches 2 from the right, f of x is continuous at x is equal to 2. If we have a look at what that means for our graph, we can graph f of x as a hybrid function. So for x less than 2, we're going to have the parabola x squared, which is going to be this part of the graph. So it's going to have an endpoint with an open dot because it's not included at the point 2, 4. And then the rule 2x for x greater than or equal to 2 would start at that point, and it would keep extending up here as the linear graph. Another way of thinking about this being continuous is that we can draw that entire hybrid function without lifting our pen off the piece of paper that we're drawing it on. So that means that it is continuous, and we've shown that mathematically on the left-hand side.